Hello YouTube, V the Amazing Greek back. Sorry about the delay in the videos, had some issues with YouTube. The video I put on earlier, it explains it all. They did some changes. Anyway, we are back with our essential gear for the zombie apocalypse. Today we're going to be discussing crowbars. Crowbars are a very effective, very cheap tool. They make an excellent weapon with a few modifications. I'm going to cover a few things real quick. They range in various sizes, from the small, handy around the house, prying into little boxes, maybe breaking a window. Here we have a medium size, a little bit more heft to it. You can bust a window out, not worry so much your hand getting damaged in the process. A little bit more leverage on boxes, doors. Here we have the large size. This is only like $7 at Wally World. This is a good one to have. This size, not this particular model. I'll explain why shortly. But this, you can really get some leverage. You can bust in a door if you have to, you know, the locks and stuff like that. Get into vending machines, Coke machines, which are going to be an overlooked source of food and drink. When the grocery stores are bare, place to look is going to be factories, business offices. They always have snack machines. They have drink machines, and this would be a good tool to bust into them and get the necessities that you need. Now, these two smaller ones, not really weapon grade, good steel but not weapon grade. You want to have reach. You don't want to be too close when you start creating a lot of splatter with headshots. Now, I went to Walmart and I bought this one. It was $7. My intention was to weaponize it and use it as a weapon. Then when I got home, I realized that this, the Stanley version, is much different than this version. If you look at the hook, this one comes in very sharply. And what that does is, when striking, you can't come in at such an angle. You got to get a little bit steeper and come down. That creates an issue. With this one, you can come in and you don't have to be as close to the target. You can be a little bit away. Your angle is much greater that you can strike with. So if you get one, make sure that the hook does not curve in on itself so much. I realize they did this to create leverage, but what we want is this to weaponize it. Now, this right here is what's called a crow's foot. This is a good weapon as far as the piercing end. It would do great head trauma. You're not going to have the penetration you will with this, but it will create head trauma. But the better part about this tool is the striking end. And yes, this is homemade. That's how awesome I am. You can't tell it. Alright, now, you want to weaponize this tool. What I've done to mine, the first things I did was I tapered in the bottom part here with the grinder. Then I gave a little bit of a taper here. That is, it's not sharp like it's going to cut you, but it is sharper than it was. Now what that does is, this end, when striking, you go for the eye socket. Into the head like that. Actually, you probably want to have an underhand strike. Into the eye socket, it'll penetrate in, strike the brain, you achieve your objective. This end also, I did not taper it here, but I did grind here to give it more sharpness for the downward strike on the skull. Also this end, if you had to, like we talked about in the combat knives, the largest distance to the brain through the skull is under the chin. So, an upward strike like this, you've got plenty of tool, the 6 to 9 inches that we want, to penetrate the brain stem from underneath the chin. Now, quick modifications I've made to mine. You can tell it's not sleek. I took electrical tape, buy this, a roll of it for Dollar Tree, and what I did to create the ridges between where my fingers hold, you take a box cutter and you cut your electrical tape by hand very carefully. You don't need the blade out like this. You put it on its shortest setting, split the tape in half. Then take those half strips and you wind them and get the height that you want. You start with one where you want to put your hand, make the rise tape. Then set, do another. At this point, do not leave the tool and say, I'll finish this up tomorrow. I did that. When I came back, my stack of tape what it had done was from the tension I had put on it, the tape had leaned over, and it was useless. I had to cut it all off and do it again. So you wrap it, then either when you're through the cut part, get you another roll, or use the solid now whole strip and then go over it to hold those raised ridges in place. Then after I did that, I took some sport tape for grip so that I don't, in wet conditions or hopefully not too much infected blood, my hands don't slip. Now, I have two different places because this grip, when I strike, I want to be able to retrieve the weapon. This gives me a good grip. My fingers don't slide. The tape helps. Not really a place to put a lanyard on this. This one right here is to help me in the lunge or the eye strike. I also have power here. I'm not slipping down on my own hand. So that's some real quick, cheap modifications. You're talking about $10 overall if you have to get the box cutter and the tape. It's nothing. So it's an awesome tool to have. I've actually seen on one show, Ronnie Reyes, I think, did it, Apocalypse Man, and he actually used a crowbar, tied a rope to it, and used it as a grappling hook. We'll cover grappling hooks in another video, but that concludes our crowbars as an essential tool for the zombie apocalypse, and we will get more videos to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much.